I'm just gonna bluff here on the bottom right. Alright, on the top here, I don't think Ace-10 never gets in here. Anyway, I'm recording to track my progress over the next couple months, and just mainly to review over these hands, and I'll probably just type the answers in the comments. I recorded one video earlier and it went great, and my mic wasn't working, so yeah, kind of unfortunate. Gonna try to play while playing a lot of tables, which is kind of hard for me, and I have like somehow no time bank. Ace King, I'm just gonna bet 1/3 a lot at a high frequency here. Here I'm just gonna check back a lot. I've ran out of time bank. It's kind of frustrating. Might just restart the table after this because there is no seat. 9's gonna open pure from the hijack. I meant the cutoff. Playing 2.3 from the cutoff. Here we're gonna we could overbet, but I think I'm gonna play big bet here. I think like he has some A5 suited I don't have, so I have to be a little cautious about that. He has like some not 7-6, but the 4 is a little bit better for him. And I think I'm gonna check here on this river. But it kind of sucks it's because I ran out of time bank. Let's sit out next big. 5's pure from the button, obviously. And then here on this river, I think we have a pretty obvious overbet. He does have more 6x than us. So we're gonna... you know what? Maybe I'll just keep 4 tables. Because I'm having trouble recording and talking and playing more. Hopefully we don't get shoved on here. Solid. Yeah, we'll review that. Yeah. I don't know how much I like his call. I'm like probably just not folding an ace. Which I don't know how I feel about that. I think a lot of my bluffs will contain 8x. Hands like 8-9 and stuff. So I don't know how good having the ace of clubs is there. Or the 8 of clubs. And you do actually have a lot of good hands there. I think. I don't think it's a bluff candidate. Here, I think we just simplified a 1/3 a lot. I think you do have to build a checking range, but I could be wrong. This hand definitely, I think, benefits from betting 1/3. Here, we're just going to check range. On a board where they can have usually 3 pocket pairs, out of position as a caller, you generally just want to... Oh my god, this guy's struggling. It's obviously good for the game, but for recording, it's okay. I'm going to check again here, I think, with this hand. Snap checks are kind of... I don't know. Hopefully I'm good. Okay, we're good. Ace 4 here, I'm gonna flat. Could do some raising. On a 74, it might... Honestly, it might raise. Could have considered it. Here, he's not supposed to bet range. Betting range here would be a mistake on this texture. It looks like he does. I mean, to be fair, when you do bet, you bet 1/3. I'm gonna call here. This guy's very, very bluffy, so... I'm gonna call. And here I block his calling range with the 4, so if we're gonna find a 4x to check, it's gonna be this one. We would play a lot of leads on this turn. Just because we have more 4x than him. Now he checks. We block his calling range, so I don't mind checking again. You know what I mean? But I don't know, maybe just ever checking before here's bad. So annoying. This guy is very bluffy. Okay, he just wanted to see a showdown with queens. Which is fair. Betting 1/3 on the flop with queens there is like a huge blunder, I think. I think he's like, that just proves he's range betting this board, and that's a huge mistake. I have to be careful because I don't want to give my opponents too much info, but whatever, man. I decided I feel like doing this, you know. Don't plan on playing in just Ontario forever, so who cares, I guess. Also, I doubt they'll even care, man. You just post your fucking videos all the time, and I don't think they'll change anything. Funny enough, like these guys don't even study. Like if you're range betting that board, you're probably not studying enough anyway. Watch me like run it. It's a range bet. That'd be hilarious. I've done that before. Okay. Anyway, here I think you mix both. Mainly 3 bet, but at this depth, I think playing calls is okay. But I think it's mainly a 4 bet. But when you 4-bet, you're supposed to call off. I don't know. Versus this opponent who 3-bets a lot, I'm gonna actually opt for the call at this depth. It's probably incorrect. Probably supposed to just like stack off here, but like in reality, he's probably 3-betting like literally half the amount he's supposed to, if not less. So. Versus the big bet here with the queen of spades. I think it's still a continue. Maybe not versus the opponent, but I'm going to continue it. And I think we do lead 20% range on this turn. Yeah. So what's 20%? Like 9? And I'm probably going to... Do I just shove on the river? Such a weird hand. Think so. Looks kind of bluffy. Not having the nut blocker, but I think I'm going to. I just played this hand as pretty insane, but... Wow, that's just unfortunate for me. Holy shit. We'll run it later. But, yeah. Obviously he's never folding that. But with the spade blocker, I don't know. I don't really like his play on the flop. Actually, no. He had the wheel. So I don't mind it. This hand's gonna be fun to run later. I was looking at a lot of 3-bets pots and spots like that, and I don't know. I think we have more 6-7 than he does. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we don't. To be honest, he probably has a good amount of 6-7. In theory, I don't know in practice though. Be a player. And we have like 5-4 and stuff. But from the big blind versus small blind, the ranges might be more different than I think it is. I don't mind that hand split though. Pretty punty, obviously. So glad to do some crazy shit while recording. Be cool if it's correct. But yeah. Why is it? Oh, I always do this in the new replay. It's so weird. It's like different than it used to be. He sizes up. I think we still have a continue. On turn 4, we lead 20%. He calls, and then on the 4 of spades with the queen of spades blocker. I think it's a pretty good hand to shove. Also blocking like aces with the spade that calls. So having the ace is pretty good, I think. Anyway, here on this board, I think you just do a lot of 1/3. This hand could probably mix in the bigger size, but play 1/3. What a crazy hand to lose 750 on, eh? And the money amounts, whatever. If we just fold on the flop, I would have played it so different. King deuce here, I think, can defend even multi-way. The suited one. Here, I think we're just gonna check again versus this player. We saw him check down a hand we beat earlier. Obviously, we're probably running into a better ace a lot of the time. When he reopens on the river, I think we just have to call. We're so weak. But he probably... Okay. We just have the winning hand. If he had bet a bigger sizing, I think he has to bet bigger than the size he picked to make my a6 indifferent, to be honest. Or he just under the buffing the spot. I mean, it's not a real spot, but it's a limp pot versus big. But, just a weird hand when the 4 hits the river. Because he never is supposed to have 8s or 5s, right? But maybe we're not supposed to lead on that card. I think it's okay though. It's not a good card for him. So sometimes it's like, yeah. I was looking at a spot earlier, but maybe that spot's slightly different than the one I was just looking at. You never know in these 3-bet pots. I mean, the big blind 3-betting range is a lot different. He actually is supposed to have a lot more connectors. Do they all play 2/3 on the flop though? I don't know. I should probably not eat while I record. Probably sounds pretty gross. Down a good amount this session. King 7, I'm just gonna pure fold, obviously. Sometimes I end up talking about nothing because there's nothing going on. I think I should talk about the hands in the past, maybe? Trying to just like talk from a perspective of teaching, I think that'll make me learn better than opposed to talking, only asking myself questions, I guess is the best way to put it. I don't think that's very productive. Eight 7 off, just gonna fold pure here. It doesn't even open pure from the button. I looked at it today. With the charts I use, obviously, everyone uses different things, kind of. Ten will 3-bet pure no matter what. From these positions. First under the gun, I think that's the only spot it's indifferent and sometimes calling. 4-3, just never opening. Here, I think it's just half pot or check, and I think this hand is a pretty good hand candidate to bet half pot. We're running half pot a lot, and I'm sure the front running hearts are pretty good. I think ace king of hearts would be the one you check. The higher the heart, usually the worse it is, but okay, that's not always true, but in some cases it is, because you block the other hands that can call. And here, I think we are going to just put it in a lot of the time. We rolled a really high number, and I'm sure we're supposed to shove sometimes. Maybe ace queen actually is just performing better, but I don't know. I don't mind it. We rolled a really high number. We rolled literally 100, so. Kind of really unfortunate we just run into this shit. Let's run it twice. Oh my god. Like, that's so annoying. Whatever. Like, we literally would have got stacked on both runouts. Just so gross. We hit running ace queen in this one. I mean, guy's just a sun runner. I don't think 4s is calling very often, but some people will just call it pure in that spot. The reason being is my range is not as, it's, I guess, more polar, but it's not as nutted. So 4s actually performs pretty poorly out of position there. Whereas if you're versus a range that's just going to stack off most of the time, you can just play hit a 4 and stack them. But when you're not consistently getting a stack when you hit a 4, your range tends to suffer. That being said though, like, it's a call a good amount of time. Pretty unfortunate session so far. I don't necessarily mind the play of shoving it back. I'm trying to think like exploitatively what's the best move. And I definitely think putting it in is pretty good. I think sometimes people will raise non-nutted hearts here. And it's pretty good to get in versus them. I think like obviously whatever. And if he just has like a random hand like Jack 10, it's pretty good to get it inverse. You need some hearts in your calling range. Obviously like ace Jack hearts would be the ideal. Or all Jack X hearts you would not shove. King 6 here on a 58. This guy folds a good amount. I like my King 6 suited, so we're gonna get after it. Okay, so the last video we made like 2k, and this video we're down about probably 2k. Probably less, but just funny. Unfortunate start. How long have I been recording? 14 minutes. Probably run the video for 45. Queen Jack just pure from the cutoff for me. Here in a 3-bet, I think we just play a lot of half-pot or big bet, like very aggressively on this board. I think King 6, if there was a give up, it would be King 6 no backdoor. And we rolled a low number, so I think we might actually be able to just play this one passively. I don't know. I could be wrong. Now on the club here, I think there's just nothing else to do besides bet this hand. Just like in practice, it's just gonna perform the best. And yeah, it's like one of our weakest hands. The queen's a good card for us. Here we 3-bet. On this board, we're just gonna be checking a lot near range, I think. Okay, he raises us. We have nothing else to do. Guy's just going pro. On the club turn, I think we reopen for a big bet here. Checking sometimes, but I don't know. I don't think I want to check this hand. We rolled a 12, so we could check sometimes. But I think we're going to big bet this hand. In practice, I think actually rolling a 12, we should just check and try and play discipline to the roll. I just think in that line, he has very little flushes. Judging by the type of player he is. So I don't mind simplifying to just pure betting that hand versus him. So the roll wouldn't matter because I probably wouldn't roll if I didn't have it going. I would just bet it. You know, I don't need to hit Nash versus a player like him. I think he's not very good. Being honest. Did I not even lose a full stack that hand? He was short. The start of the hand. Wait, why did it say I only lost 422? I don't get it. Was I not full stacked? I don't... Anyway. Why is Bubba not rebuying? I'm not gonna tag him fish. He's a reg. It's just weird. Anyway. 3 deuce I don't think defends on a 21. It's like very low frequency. And king 9 on a 65 I think gets in here. Especially someone I think is not too good in the big blind. Today I'm just running into it. This month's been very good to me, so can't complain. Like worst case I break even today or slightly lose. That's just normal. Mainly just tilted about not recording. Talking so dorky, but I don't know. Just when I talk about poker, I'm just like this, I guess. Alright, I think this hand opens pure, so I don't need to look at the number. And on this board in particular, I think we do good amount of small betting, but I could be wrong. Generally, betting 1/3 with this hand is pretty good. I mean, it's good to fold out some random shit that has overs to it. It's not like we can hit it as clean of overs. For example, you have overs to the 7, it's usually a bit better as a check candidate. Could be wrong about that. Could be wrong about a lot of shit today. I've had a lot of spots in this video where I'm not 100% sure. This I'm pretty sure is pure fold now for me. From this spot. Naturally, I think he's also under 4 betting. If I had to have a read. Pretty sure it's a pure fold. Queen Jack suitor just performs very bad compared to other hands like 10-9. Queen Jack and Jack 10 are usually pretty bad, like the weak Jack X. Because I think a lot of his 4-bet bluffs can contain higher Jack X. So, just a weaker holding you can have. I'd rather just not interact with this range with the connected suited hands. Here I'm just gonna bet 1/3 or less probably. It's just really hard for a lot of his hands to continue. Like a pocket pair without a diamond here lower than a queen is like really hard. Like you basically just can't call it. So. A couple interesting spots to look at, for sure. It's always fun to record yourself getting rinsed. I think A7 actually could defend. Versus 2.5, I think it's folding though. This is a spot I actually have no clue. So I think I'm going to fold. Versus 2.5. Versus 2x, yeah. This 4-bet's just way too big. Actually, never mind. They're 200 effective. Man, what a shit river in the other hand, eh? What a shit turn. 5-3, just never opening. And then it's kind of boring. I haven't played a hand in 20 years. Sorry if that's disgusting, me drinking water and eating fucking McDonald's. Why is Bubba not rebuying? I'm about to tag him fish. Like, what is he doing? Does he just get on stars to troll? I mean, to be fair, I don't think he's too sharp. I don't think very many people in this pool are very good, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think anyone in this pool is very good. They probably think the same about me, I guess. I don't know. I don't feel like they play particularly solid. I think this hand's just a pure fold. I know it is, actually. Wow, what a cooler. This guy, he's just running terrible today. This is unreal. Give him a 7, he deserves it. Okay, now this is just ridiculously bad. So before I give him credit because it made sense, in that case it does not make sense. He's supposed to like nearly min click him. Give him it. Oh my god, it's blue. Oh my god. Hilarious. Here we're just gonna check range. The king 5 here is mixing, by the way. Shouldn't have opened it pure. I didn't see the number. And here I think we just call this hand. Could raise. But I think generally we're resorting to check call a lot of the time here. I think our overpairs are kind of if you get them for stacks. And then I think here we just start folding now. On this board, I'm gonna play over bet and big bet. On a 68, I think we just play big bet. I don't think we're ever checking jack 9. King 9 off, I don't think ever gets in here. First the button. Alright, king 4 suited. It's just a pure fold. Pretty upset about the one bluff. The thing is, like, I just don't know if I'm getting the folds in practice. The fold equity I need. Because the line is so weird. And you need above 50% fold equity. You need almost like 65%. Obviously for the bluff to make money. Obviously there's other factors. Like, yeah, if I'm playing it perfectly and they're overcalling, they'll get exploited when I have value. And yeah. The hand he had was a call, I think. I'm like 900% sure almost. He blocks value, so. Gonna fold the ace 10. And maybe having the queen is like pretty indifferent. Like having the ace is obviously a lot better. Of spades, that is. If I'm just taking all my offsuit. But to be fair, like how much offsuit space do I have? I wonder if I can even run the hand because maybe I'm supposed to 4-bet ace queen pure there. In which case I'll just look at the spawn in general. Maybe I'll look at ace jack off and stuff. I mean, you have to have some ace queen, right? There's no way. Jack 10 here on a 75 is gonna open pure. Or open on a 75. You shouldn't say pure on a number, it doesn't make any sense. Like as if you were mixing the mix. On a 75, it's gonna open 75% of the time. Here, I think actually it's a spot where you play big bet. I could be wrong. Big bet or check. On a 28, I don't mind checking this back sometimes. For CP. I'm gonna check it. It's probably incorrect, but. Alright, on this turn we're just never checking. No. I think we just reopened a half pot. I think we can start betting all of our underpairs. Like kings, queens, jacks, 3-10s. And some 9x. I'm gonna call deuces here versus the fish on the button. And here we're gonna open this hand to 11 bigs. I meant 3-bet. and 3-betting down here to 12 pure. Good flop for us, but our range, but we brick. All right, that's a set. I think we're playing. You could play 20% or 33 here. I don't mind just playing 33 to simplify. I think in this spot, 33 performs probably better. Sucks he has a snap fold. It's just depressing, to be honest. It is what it is. I think playing a lot of big bet on this board. Way better range for you. Big bet makes most of his hands indifferent compared to a smaller bet where he basically has to just call everything because he has overs. And here I think we're just mostly calling a6 suited. And here I think the only size we want to play is overbet, and I think we want to play it now. I think maybe big bet. I don't know if we play overbet. We have king jack, we have pocket fours, we have jack four and king four, so we have all the nutted hands. We don't have kings or jacks obviously, but that's such a small part of ranges here that it doesn't really matter, like it would versus other positions. But the widest ranges on the table, it's king jack's basically the nuts. Gonna open 6-5 there. I don't know. I don't think it is actually. It might be a pure fold. Here, I think we're gonna check the ace-3. Actually, maybe betting it's good. I think betting actually ace-3 performs pretty well. I think he's gonna continue a good amount of ace-x that's not made, so we can still cooler it. And we fold out some of the under pairs maybe. And also we just get a lot of protection with our hand. Maybe we folded out 8-5 suited that he calls. I don't know. Versus the small blind, it's different than what he's playing in the small blind. It's important to remember, but I don't know because this guy is a pretty big recreational. Probably gonna run this video for 45 minutes. Hopefully we can get a little turnaround before we end it. 9-7, going to open pure. Or we flop trips versus this guy, or set, basically the nuts. And I don't know how bluffy this guy is. He's been particularly not bluffy. So I don't think we want to check and trap him. I think we play to stack something. He calls. Now on this turn, I think we just go for the big overbet. We can just go to 15 because he's shorter. Call, call. There'll be 40 in the middle. He'll have around 40 in a stack. 175 might be better. Snap folds an ace, and on the river, nothing else to do here. Basically nuts. I mean, maybe he has 10-8 of clubs. But yeah. Here, I think we're going to play big bet. And here, I think we're going to play big bet. I don't know. Man, why do you fold? I shouldn't have auto-marked queen jack. I saw the number was pretty low. Alright, here when he doesn't raise, he's pretty capped in not having a 5. Like, he has some 5, but he has a lot less of it. Like, most of his 5x is supposed to play more aggressive. So I think, like, obviously he has some traps. But I think we're going to 150 this river. Just overall a very, very good river for us. And it's hard to defend against for him, so yeah. We block ace-5 suited and other shit. Here, I just say other shit. Gonna just play 1/3 range. Sucks he folded. Going to play 1/3 range down here. Going to check turn with this hand pure. Don't think this hand overbets. And I don't think this hand turns into a bluff either. We actually beat a good amount of shit still. And there's just other hands to bluff. A lot of his folding range on the river is going to be 9x. Going to have to... Actually, maybe here we just fold. I think we just fold. He potted it, and he's very shallow. We probably would have shoved on the 8. Really sucks he folded. Could have used to get a stack. Would have been nice to get a stack. Man, I can't believe we hit a 4 spades. That was like the only river we get stacked on. Actually, though. An ace might have been a little weird, but I don't think I would have got stacked. Any other spade, I think he's folding for sure. So, yeah. King, queen off. If you're multi-ways, I don't mind. Still betting 1/3 here on the king high board. Now that's not necessarily a good card for me. 5/6 gets there, ace-5 gets there, but I still think we're gonna bet this hand 3 streets. I think more often than not he's gonna have king X. And if he has a better hand, he's gonna let us know right now. I don't think he's just gonna call it. Could be wrong, but I don't think in theory he's supposed to just call many straights here. I think he is supposed to be pretty aggressive with them. Obviously you have to stay enough to remain balanced, but unblocking all of the calling range, I think straights become pretty good, solid. Alright, here with top 2, I'm just gonna bet 1/3 a lot. On this board, just betting 1/3. On a 29, could consider checking. Now on a 4 here, do we check ever? We unblock all the bluffs, so I don't mind checking on a 4. I think we have to have some traps. He snap checks. Now I think on the river we never big bet this hand, blocking all of the calling range, so I think we just block bet. Weird hand. And versus this guy, we're just going to... He's a little shorter. Normally we would go 13.5, but he has 80 bigs, so we'll go 12.5. Probably could still go 13.5 to be honest. Just not getting paid when we have it right now. But at least we're hitting hands. It's pretty hard to lose in poker when you hit hands. And we're just going to get it in here versus the unknown. A lot of times people just under 3 bet bluff in position, but this guy's a fish. Let's just... Okay. No. One more. We just needed one more. Pretty fine result there. Chop up this guy's small blind. 25 cents. The flop was kind of a sweat because both of us were still alive, which is just funny. I've been sun running that spot. Today I won ace king and ace king. But yeah, I don't know how many spots there are for me to review here. It feels like maybe I'm wrong. We had the one crazy spot. But yeah, should be like 10 things at least. I'll write down. Rewatch it over to make sure my chewing's not like insane. Cause I'm pretty like, I don't know. I just don't want to post me fucking chewing up the storm, sounding disgusting as fuck. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird for that. I don't know. King deuce here, even on an uneven, it just doesn't. I think king 5's the bottom of the suited kings. From under the gun. There is a fish in the big one. Actually, maybe he's not a total fish, I guess. Going to open 2.5. Come on, let's go. Here I think we just play a lot of 1/3. Actually could be big bet versus the small blind, flouting range, but versus the fish I think 1/3 is going to perform the best as this overall strategy. He's going to play way too many hands and have to overfold. Now here I think we play overbet. I think he would have raised us with something, unless he has queen 5 or something. So I think we play 13.5 or 14. It's probably like 13.7, but we'll go to 14. I think on this board, like the bottom of my value betting range is like king queen. So, I mean queen jack probably, but I don't know. Versus Vish, you pick the strategy that's going to perform the best, and I think more often than not, unblocking a queen there is pretty good to value bet for a big sizing. Targeting made hands. And we flop a very strong hand here. I think you just play 1/3. I think you can size up here. I don't think you need to play 20. I think 20 gives him too easy of a time continuing with too many of his hands. So 1/3 puts more of his hands in a difficult spot. And on the turn here, this is a spot I have no clue. Like, do you polarize? I don't think so. Do you stay like wider and just bet 1/3 again? I think that's on an ace high board that would be the thing. On a king high board, I don't know. Obviously, sometimes he has king jack. He's supposed to only have one combo of it, and we block it, so he should never have king jack. He sometimes has jacks. You should never have that either, actually. So we probably, in theory, should be pretty aggressive here versus him. Or maybe he just has a tough time defending versus another 1/3 bet, so I don't mind doing it. You never know in practice what your opponent's doing. And then here on the river, I think it's just polarized or not. It's just shove or check. Actually, I don't know if that's true. You probably block your aces still. But I think we're going to go for it. I feel like versus this opponent, we might only get called when we're beat. But okay, good. Whew. I'm not going to lie. The snap call kind of scared me. But it's just hard for him to have king jack. But I thought he could have jacks. Alright, in this spot, jacks is just supposed to be a pure 4-bet. So I think we play normal and standard. He sized down, so we'll go to 24.5. Normally he's supposed to go a bit bigger. When he goes this small, we are probably supposed to call things. Alright. $37 minutes, probably play for 8 more minutes. We're playing 3-handed right now, which is nice. We get to play less spots. And on a 30 here, I'm not going to raise the queen 6. I think it does sometimes, but not here. Fives on an 84, we will open. And then here we're going to have to roll to see. Going to call here. I don't think we ever raise. Actually, I think you do raise some of your queen X non-overs. But without the BFD, I think we just call. Maybe without the BFD, you're supposed to bet. That's a weird spot. On a 2, I think we're supposed to fold, so we will. This makes no sense, but we're just going to call. We could raise. It's very weird. I don't think this is a thing. But queen 6 is just too weak to do anything about it. Not folding to that size ever. He just played the hand very poorly. He's not a very good player, this guy. Obviously, he won here, but he probably makes a lot more money even in that hand. So, I don't know. Betting 1/3 in position there twice, reopening with it is just very, very poor. Maybe he has a read on me. He's trying to induce something. Like he thinks I'm going to spaz out. I don't know. Hopefully he keeps playing like that. I'm here just playing just 12. Bigs, I think here we have to call. I think I just fold it versus this guy. I don't think he's. We would have too big betting, too many weekends there. Okay, well we flopped the Giga Nuts. I think on a 41 we want to check on this board a lot, so we're just going to check. Obviously this hand needs a lot of protection, but because there's a lot of hands out there. And I think this hand wants the checkers pure. So I think we fast play it. I think 10-9 of like spades and clubs play it differently. And on the double draw, there's nothing else to do but just sides rip this hand in. So he just calls me with just a jack or some shit. King 10, I'm going to call. Dude, like how do I not get paid once today? It's so egregious. Like everyone's in it until they hit fucking trips. Like so gross. Shouldn't bitch on video. But alright, here I'm just going to play really aggressively with this hand versus guy. I just don't think he checks much worse. I'll bet half pot. I probably want to reopen for big, actually. Now on the river, this might be too thin, to be honest. Like, it's hard for him to call worse. You could have queen 10, jack 10, but he also has ace 10. Okay, he just has 9 deuce suited. I don't know what's going on. Jack 9 on a 5, I think we're just going to call. It's definitely not 3-betting pure, so pretty easy decision here. Now here, we definitely raise a good amount of the time. I think he's overdoing it. On an 11, I guess we call. I really want to just raise versus this guy, I feel like. And here, this is just a pure 3-bet. He finds the big bet here. I think we just have an easy fold with this hand. Here, just going to simplify to 1/3 with range. I think you could actually set this up here, but I think 1/3 is probably the best on the lower queen high. First, an opponent is probably calling too wide. And then on the turn, I think we just have to give up this hand. I mean, having the 10 of diamonds is okay. So, maybe it's okay to double, but we also unblock all the suited hands. We have bluffs on flushes. I think actually I'm going to bet. I've talked myself into this. We rolled a 28. The ace-x of hearts isn't good. It's okay, though. I think I'm going to bet half. I also think I'm just starting to think versus opponent. Glad it worked. Versus opponent, he's going to call out of hands pre, he's going to call out of hands versus the 1/3, and he's going to have to overfold versus the half pot. Continue. So I think if we have any mixes, we should just turn them into pure bluffs. 10-6 is not good enough here, I think. Actually, I think it is. I think I sold 10-6 short. Anyway. Play for 3 more minutes. The stars table broke because all the stars tables break so fast. But alright, should be okay to review. Wonder how much I am down. We actually ended up hitting a shit ton of hands at the second half of this video, but this hand does get in here, and we rolled a 99. I think it does get in here sometimes, so. But he says, I don't know, when he sizes 2x, you want to call a little more. So I might just not versus 2x, you have less to gain. Yeah, and I think on this board when we roll an 86, well, we can be pretty aggressive. Yeah, I think we want to raise a good amount here. When he bets half pot, maybe we're supposed to polarize to a bigger size. Here, I think this hand calls or raises or folds. We rolled a low number, so I don't mind folding. GGD is pretty with the 3 bets. I think this is a good card for me. I think overbetting might make some sense. So I think we'll go for the overbet. With the king of spades, could consider checking. But I'm going to go for the OB here. We're basically just repping a queen. Maybe we're too thin. The more I think about this, I think I might be playing this hand wrong. Now on the river, I think we just have a clear 20% bet. Which is 12 bigs, so we're going to go 12 bigs. Hopefully we're not beat. We coolered him. We got basically the stone maximum there. I'm pretty sure I played something in that hand wrong. Like 900% sure. But it worked out. Fucking hilarious. Sucks it wasn't another suit. And here we're just going to simplify to 1/3 with range. I don't know why he's flatting in the small blind. This guy's just a weirdo tournament player. Shouldn't be so toxic. I don't know. I'm just a very toxic person. If people want to say I suck, they can go ahead. And here I think we just play overbet or check. I think we probably want to have some other hands in there. But yeah, you definitely, I think you would be losing some of you playing just overbet or check here, but I don't mind playing just overbet or check here. Wow. Now on this river, I think we just bet a size that we can reopen non an ace to. Like 60. Yeah. Like our better queen X, like king queen will bet. Kings will bet. Queen jack will bet. Yeah. Anyway. Also, just the type of player he is, he's likely to probably reopen an ace on the river there. So as an overall strategy, we could probably exploit that by going thinner for value. He's just more weighted to under pairs, and you can just overbluff him. 199, we're gonna open this. This table was overall, we had enough players deep where I could probably just open 2.5. But that's pretty redundant. And this might be the last hand. How do I do it? I wish like they removed the GG options. Anyway, I think I'll call it on this end. Alright, thanks people for watching if anyone watched the end. But yeah, hopefully the next videos will be a bit better. I'll only get better at this. So yeah. Anyway, peace.